Do you suffer with chronic pain, or are you a friend or a loved one of someone with chronic pain? I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined, and I've got a very simple message for you today that I think can help a lot. And when we have chronic pain, we tend to think about the tissues healing properly, and in our office we have some great tools for that. Pulse magnetic therapy, which heals the tissues, and great nutritional support to heal the tissues. But we also have to remember that with chronic pain, may happen at a joint, but it's interpreted in the brain, and the brain really either takes a high level of pain and turns it down, or takes a lower level of input pain and turns it up, and we experience greater pain. So your brain is going to have a lot of control of this, whether the pain levels are turned up or turned down. Now, one of the things that makes it easier for the brain to turn down pain levels is having proper mechanical nerve input, and that's where chiropractic comes into play. In our office, we happen to use a very light, low force, no popping, no twisting way of increasing that mechanical nerve input so that the brain can help turn down the pain nerves. But what I really want to share with you today is focusing on the brain itself, because often that's not focused on in healthcare at all with chronic pain. And so we focus on tissue healing, and we may focus on pain medications and pain injections and things like that. But it's really the brain that needs to be able to turn pain down to be able to handle it normally and naturally. And so some of the tools that we have to help the brain be able to turn pain down are two things. One is called Neurofeedback, and that is simply where you're sitting in front of a computer. There's a couple of electrodes or sensors on your scalp and on your ears. No input goes into the brain. It just reads the electrical activity of the brain. It knows the lane, so to speak, that the brain is driving on. As soon as the brain gets off track, it interrupts the sound of the music that you're listening to. So it constantly cueing your brain every time it goes off track, and your brain learns to become more stable and efficient. As the brain becomes more efficient, it also becomes more efficient at turning down the pain. And so we've got several testimonials from patients who have been receiving neurofeedback that did better with chronic pain. The other thing that can dramatically take a lower level of pain and turn it up is emotional trauma or emotional stress. Just think about being in a car wreck. There may be stresses of what was going on at the time in your life when you had the car wreck. There may be stresses of, oh my gosh, I'm going to get hit. There may be stresses of, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay my bills? There may be stresses of, oh my gosh, what am I going to do the rest of my life? Am I going to recover? Am I not going to recover? All those stresses get wired in with the physical pain and cause the pain to be turned up. Now, in our office we do something that's fairly new called QNRT, Quantum Neural Reset Therapy. But it's about finding the areas of the brain that are not functioning correctly, finding what stresses relate, and all the areas of the brain are mapped to different stresses, and then we check different tissues in the body. Those are all mapped to different stresses, and we can find out exactly what the stress is that's tied in with your pain and release that emotional stress so that your brain doesn't wire up the pain, and it has an easier job of turning the pain down. That's called QNRT. We've got a video on it called Introduction to QNRT. You can watch that for more information. This QNRT technique was actually developed by a doc who'd been in several car accidents. He was out of practice. He was non-functioning very well on pain medications and things like that. And he figured out how to release the emotional trauma out of the brain that was wired in with the pain, and helped himself recover. Now he's back in practice and teaching this great technique that people travel for miles and miles and miles to receive, and we're getting raving results about it. So again, it's called QNRT. We simply find with a neurological exam the areas of the brain that aren't working correctly, help reset those, and help your body not turn up the pain and do a better job of being able to turn down the pain. So I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined. Be sure and like us on Facebook, share us on YouTube, and take this message to heart. And if you want some help with this, give us a call at 270-554-2141 and just let us know you want to see how we can help your body naturally turn down the pain better. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined.